weapons in your armory, so many things in your arsenal and all that. So, I mean, good one for the Tigers at this point in time, and good one generally for the world of sports. So, it's another wonderful time on Sports Bank this morning.
You know, starting from basketball, it's still a big shock for them over there in the United States. I saw, one analysis on a program actually where a guy was analyzing how ridiculous it was that the Tigers of Nigeria managed to defeat the U.S. national team. He found it unbelievable. But then again, maybe it is high time they started to take us seriously going into the competition. I remember AY was saying yesterday that he wish we didn't win, and that now everybody will be looking at us instead of us being able to sneak in on them. But hey, who needs them not looking at you when you are this good? After achieving a first ever win over the USA on Sunday morning, Nigeria's national men's basketball team, the Tigers, smashed Argentina 94-71 on Monday evening at the Michelob Ultra Arena in Las Vegas. After besting the USA, the FIBA-ranked number 1 team, the Tigers followed up that victory with another eye-catching win over the number 4 ranked Argentines. Coach Mike Brown was able to name Jalil Okafor in the team, but he started the 5 of Josh Okoje, Ike Nwamo with Nnamdi, Vincent Chikeze Okpala, and Precious Achiuwa from the Miami Heat. Veteran Argentine player Luis Cola, who is attending his 5th Olympic Games at 41, had his first personal foul within 30 seconds of the start, just as Vincent missed his first 3-point shot attempt after scoring from 6 of 10 attempts against the Americans. An errant pass by Koji led to Nicolas Brasino getting the first bucket. The Tigers didn't click into gear in the first 2 minutes of the game and went without any points while turning over the ball 3 times. Okpala got Nigeria's first point of a drive and pass from Achiuwa. The first quarter ended with the Argentines leading Nigeria, finished second quarter with a 12-point lead as Okafor, Obi Emegano, and Achiuwa producing a defensive and offensive masterclass. Tigers ahead. Mia Oni beat the buzzer with a rebound and put back at the end of the third quarter as Nigeria stretched their lead to 19 points. The fourth quarter was a procession as Nigeria reduced their speed and aggression to win 20-16, while the win over the USA was about the 20 successful 3-point shots. Monday's win over Argentina showed the versatility of the team on both ends of the court, mixing their game while playing with speed and aggression. They also succeeded in limiting the 3-point attempts by their opponents. Okafor led the scoring for the Tigers with 15 points, while Josh Okoje and Chimezie Metu at 10 each. Argentina had also lost 7-84 last Sunday. The last time the two countries met was at the 2019 FIBA Basketball World Cup in China, with the Argentines won 94-81. The Tigers' first match in Tokyo will be against the Australians, whom they play in their last warm-up match later today. Do you think, honestly, that we can start to think of ourselves as a potential medal winner, important medal winner in the basketball at the Olympics?
Well, I want us to still, keep everything moderate and be a little bit modest. But, when you're defeating the world number 1, doing that, being the first African team ever to defeat an American team on a basketball court, you have to say that is something laudable. And then you follow it up with a defeat, a win over the world number 4. I mean, you're already showing intent. You're showing that you're ready to, ruffle feathers, rock the boat, disturb the big boys and all that. That is what you're showing. But then we should still be a little bit modest with our expectations on the team so that we wouldn't begin to pile unnecessary pressure on these lads and all that. But then, with kind of work our guys are doing, I saw Precious Achiuwa. I saw that unbelievable block he had against Kevin Durant in that game against the Americans. I mean, once you mention Durant, you say one of the best available in the game right now. For him to do that, kind of defensive masterclass, and we've been seeing it. We saw it against the Argentines as well. So, and the fact
60 of the last 72 Grand Slam tournaments, that seems likely. One of them will end 2021 with 21 major titles. That's because Novak joined Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal with 20 slams on Sunday, defeating Berrettini for his 6th Wimbledon title. So, the symmetry and absurdity of the numbers makes for a US Open like no other, with history at stake in a way even this Titanic trio has yet to experience. Federer has won the US Open 5 times, but not since 2008. Nadal has won it 4 times. It's his second most fruitful major and is the most recent champion from this tryout. Djokovic last won it in 2018 over Juan Martin de Potro. On top of all that, Djokovic has a chance to complete a calendar year Grand Slam, something no man has done since Rod Laver in 1969. The Aussie accomplished that at the West Side Tennis Club in Forest Hills on grass, a surface the probably wouldn't mind the US Open reverting to after his latest triumph at the All England Club. Now, there's been a lot of permutations around what these guys are capable of achieving. The oldest of them being Roger Federer at 39. Some will say is nearing the end of his career. Rafael Nadal has not been very fortunate in terms of injury, even though he's a power player and you can never rule him out. He's come back again and again. Novak Djokovic is 34, not young as well, but then again looks so energetic and strong at this moment, almost unstoppable. The US Open is going to be absolutely interesting.
Yeah, definitely. With everything on the line, maybe you look at being the outright GOAT now, talking about the greatest of all time. Maybe that is something that will also be on the line. But just like you rightly pointed out, the major talking point or the major decider or the major metric that probably would separate them might be their ages right now. Just like you've mentioned, Djokovic is 34, Nadal is 35, and Federer is 39. So you think that, well, time is not on Federer's side. Federer doesn't have maybe so many years ahead of him.
Somebody said he's not winning any slams again.
Well, it's the sports. I've learned in sports never to say never. Of course, he can still do it. Of course, as long as he's not retired, you know that this man can do. But once you see, looking at the kind of abilities, the kind of performances they've been churning out, maybe the person might be justified to a reasonable extent that, well, it's looking like Federer might not be able to cross the line of winning a Grand Slam, a major tournament, because, well, he might be able to win at the preliminary stages, but when push comes to shove, when it comes to the business end of the tournament, there's a way age begins to catch up and all that. You see him, he begins to tire out. Once he gets an opponent that stretches him, gets into long rallies and all that, he probably would fall short in those kind of games. But, you know, I've learned that legends like this, they always say, form might be temporary, class is permanent. It might still produce one fantastic performance.
But age is irreversible.
Age is irreversible, obviously. You cannot take anything away from that. But you can't take it away. You can't also take away the fact that he has something in his tank to probably still win one slam. But if we are talking about who can win more slams of the three, obviously, it's looking like the man of the moment, Novak Djokovic. This man, you know, you say that, well, currently ranked number 1, obviously, by the ATP. But you say that he has unbelievable strength, unbelievable playing ability. I saw the way he blew Berrettini away in the finals of the Wimbledon, and that is something he can do any day, anytime, as long as he is at his best. Even if he's not playing at his best, he has found a way to win, and that is something we found from winners. They always win. Whether they're playing well or not, they will just find a way to cross the line. That's something you see with Djokovic. Some are already saying he'll win 25. I'm predicting he probably will win 28. I mean, barring injuries and all that, you cannot take anything away from all those. But I think outrightly, it might still come down to Djokovic and Nadal pushing themselves to the limit. I think Federer will fall short. Maybe come next year, come 2023, you might have Federer announcing his retirement and, you know, leaving the game. So maybe Djokovic and Nadal will still push themselves a little bit further. But, you know, ultimately, I'm still putting my money on Djokovic to eventually end up as maybe the GOAT or the most accomplished as regards Grand Slam, because you know, the fans of Nadal would not want to hear that. The fans of Federer on the other hand would not want to hear that. But it's looking likely that Novak Djokovic will take the gong at the end of the day.
A star player's glittering career finally gets the one honor it was missing. That is a major title with his national team. Who am I talking about? The little porcupine himself, Lionel Messi. He finally took the last empty box in his glittering soccer career last Saturday, leading Argentina past host Brazil 1-0 in the final of the Copa America in Rio de Janeiro. It seems it's the year of Copa for Lionel Messi. He won the Copa del Rey with Barcelona, also the just concluded season. The trophy was Messi's first with Argentina after a string of painful, agonizing, maddening failures, including perhaps the most demoralizing defeat of his career against Germany in the World Cup final inside the stadium Rios Orque Maracana in 2014. You know the number of times he has had to retire, that they had to beg him out because of that elusive senior trophy with the national team. When the whistle blew to the end the final, Messi is relieved. A palpable drop to his knees and was immediately surrounded by his teammates. A moment later, they were lifting him above their shoulders and tossing him in the air. Never mind the fact that he was not even the goal scorer, not the match winner in that final. It was Angel Di Maria. But of course, it meant so much for the captain of Argentina. Now, congratulations to him. Does this change the equation at all as to what happens in the Ballon d'Or this year?
Obviously, whenever players like Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo and all that do anything, then obviously they get into the mix, regardless of the kind of season they probably must have had. And then even Messi has not had a terrible season. I mean, stats-wise, maybe he didn't win the Champions League, maybe he didn't win the La Liga title, like, obviously. But, looking at his own individual statistics, you say that that is something really still, remarkable. So, and now he won the Copa del Rey. Now he has carved it up with winning the Copa America. So, obviously, Messi gets into the mix. I was seeing, the odds for the Ballon d'Or on a particular, betting, website and all that. And, the odds for Messi dropped immediately to 1.5. Immediately, they won that Copa America. So you understand that, well, Messi will obviously come straight into the mix for that. And it's probably the favorite because there's no outstanding, I would say, in quotes now, outstanding player to actually come up against him. You say the likes of Lewandowski, he fell short at the Euros, obviously. We're not expecting him to win the Euros with Poland. And he didn't win the Champions League with Bayern Munich and all that. So you say that Lewandowski will also be out of
Somebody's mentioning Jorginho.
Well, yeah, maybe
you won the Champions League with Chelsea. And of course, the Euros with Italy.
Yeah, you might say Jorginho will also come into the mix. But does he have that kind of star status that players like Lionel Messi command in the world?
Isn't it about trophies? Donnarumma was voted player of the tournament.
Yeah, obviously, because he had impeccable performances.
But if he had not won the Euros, maybe he wouldn't have gotten the honor.
Yes, now it has to be a combination of both winning trophies and then fantastic individual ability.
And this is somebody who has won the two biggest trophies in Europe in the year under review.
Well, you remember Sneijder. Sneijder won in 2010. He won I think he won a treble.
He won the treble
with Inter Milan.
But it was a World Cup year.
And
they fell short.
He got to the finals of the World Cup. He didn't win. The person that won the Ballon d'Or that year wasn't even at the finals of the World Cup. So you have to say that, let alone winning that. And he also didn't win a treble, and you have to look at that. So, well, has Jorginho done enough? You say, well, he's done his bit and he did so well. The focal point, not necessarily the focal point, but then it was a very instrumental part of that Chelsea team that won the Champions League. And then it was also really, really phenomenal for Italy at the just concluded European Championship. So you say that is also a huge pointer. But does he have the kind of stats, those stats that we've become, we've gotten accustomed to over the course of the last 10 years with these guys? We are coming up with 50 goal a season starts, 50 goal. Look at Lionel Messi. He had 9 goal involvements at the just concluded Copa America out of 12 goals scored by the Argentines. So you say that, you look at all those kind of stats. Well, the position that Jorginho plays doesn't necessarily favor stats, and then his style of play, his job is to recycle possession, protect the defense and all that. So you look at all that and say maybe Jorginho will also come into the mix, but I'm not sure he will have enough. Well, maybe the Super Cup is also coming, the European Super Cup. So if he begins to add up more cups, unfortunately, the Club World Cup, I think, will be coming after the votes must have closed for the Ballon d'Or. So maybe that would not also come. But maybe the more cups and then the more the PR for him is also very important in awards like this.
Okay. After 51 games in 31 days and 11 cities, ending in a dramatic, gripping finale at Wembley, Euro 2020 is over. England fans didn't get the conclusion they wanted, with Italy crowned champions via penalty shootouts, but this takes nothing away from what was a brilliant tournament. Let us take a quick break. For now, in England, everything seems to be around the fallout, which is racism rearing its ugly head again. But we'll focus more about what happened on the pitch of play. But let us take a break now for the BBC Premier League update. We'll be back to round up. Stay with us.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Paul Serres at the BBC Sports Centre. The England manager Gareth Southgate has called the racist abuse aimed at 3 of his players who missed penalties in the shootout defeat to Italy in the final of Euro 2020 unforgivable. Bukayo Saka, Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford were all targeted on social media within minutes of the end of the match.
The players have had an incredible togetherness and spirit, which I think has brought so many parts of our country together. So, they should be, and I think they are, incredibly proud of what they've done. For some of them to be abused is unforgivable, really. I know a lot of that has come from abroad. The people that track those things have been able to explain that, but not all of it. And it's just not what we stand for. We I think, have been a beacon of light in bringing people together, in people being able to relate to the national team, and the national team stands for everybody, and so that togetherness has to continue, and we've shown the power our country has when it does come together and has that energy and positivity together.
England and Manchester United forward Marcus Rashford says he will never apologise for who I am in a social media post on Monday, and thanked fans for their kind messages. The former Manchester City and England under-21 defender Nedum Onuoha says this kind of abuse has become all too predictable.
Like, those guys were representing their country when they played for England, but all of a sudden, you're not one of us, you're this, you're that, and it's embarrassing, and the predictability of it really highlights, as I say, where we are in society. And it's not just a case of, this is now. Like, this is what it is.
And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Okay, our final text we need to leave right now. A lot of people still continue to question how Bukayo Saka managed to be the one to play the last decisive, most important penalty for England in 55 years, when you add Raheem Sterling, Jack Grealish, and the lineup. But hey,
well, those are decisions.
Hindsight sometimes.
Those are decisions that maybe in hindsight you would say that because he probably could have scored it. But you understand why people are also looking at it that way. Saka, I can't remember him taking a penalty for Arsenal. He's not the first choice penalty taker for Arsenal. So those are some of those factors that
even
also
the ones
count.
who are used to playing penalties.
Even a Jorginho missed the penalty,
and then even Rashford, who was playing penalties before Bruno joined United.
So you look at all these factors that it can happen to anyone, and maybe Southgate probably he judged or made that decision based on their performance in training. Obviously, they must have been practicing penalties throughout the competition.
Jack Grealish said he told the manager he wanted to play,
and the manager felt he was not good enough at that point, or maybe Saka was better.
Is this good for the dressing room? The player coming out to say, but I wanted to play, the manager didn't let me.
No, he didn't say the manager didn't let him. He actually gave kudos to the manager for giving...
he was not going to come out, hard to say that. Well, we need to go. Thank you, Faith.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to me.
Thank you. Great time talking sports this morning. Second, I'll be back later this evening at 6:30. Do have a wonderful Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Splash FM 105.5.
It is another time for you to get updated with MTN. This information will definitely do a whole lot of help. Please note, your NIN is used to tie all records about an individual into the National Identity Database, and it is also used as a valid means of establishing or verifying individual identity. MTN cares and wants you to stay connected to your loved ones, business pleasure, passions, and so much more. There are lots of questions arising. One of many, will my line be blocked if my NIN is not captured? According to the NCC directive, telecom subscribers yet to register for NIN and those yet to link their NIN to their lines will be disconnected.